The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Grizz Biz My Two Cents.
If I throw two, you don't know how many faces that I go through, but shit, I'm finna show you. King die, don't know about yours, but I need mine. Finna go black so you see light. Wasn't really much left, so it seemed right. Take the scene right. That moon gon' hit shit, put her in the trance. While I step out of life, start looking like a dance. What to do, what I want, I've been doing what I can. There's a message in my walk, you will never understand. There's a reason why we ball, and they always in the stands. Put a watch till you talk to a gun with a plan. My goons gon' rock, yeah, we locked in the pen. Then whip it so hard to switch my stance. Never thought I'd see nights like this. Block gotta shine with the high bag in. The joint gotta ice my shit. When I walk with a lip, but never hide my stick like. And I feel how I talk, got a field when I walk, oh yeah. She gon' put her bitches on, they gon' play their favorite song. They like, new moon, need more bread, fill 2 rooms. No such thing as too soon. Same old shit, girl, who knew? Still hold it down with a screw loose. Yeah, I never hang around with a new troop. Ain't nothing about.
It's the #1 station blazing the airwaves.
right here, so keep it locked.
This is Grizz Biz My Two Cents.
Yes, we are back at it. Wednesday. We popping again, folks. Everything happens between Wednesday to Wednesday with news you can use and dope interviews that we do on our show. We have hot topics. We have everything. Everybody's paying attention to us right now. Let's give us a round of applause again. The views is going up. Everything is popping, crackling, train is moving. Shaka. You know, we try and keep every Wednesday of the month Black girls shine, Black girls magic, but we also give props to our brothers too, you know, because without us, what would y'all do? You did give me a round of applause for that. That was cold, wasn't it? That was so cold. So we're going to continue with our series. And like I said last week, man, I was so excited about this guest that I have today, man, because we all in the same age bracket, and we just know folks that's just been putting it down for our city, man, through all types of things and stresses and so forth, and made names for themselves. And this guy right here, when it came to Black folks in law, his name ring bells, still rings bells. So many people tuned in and inboxed me about this interview today. And, of course, you know, since he's so busy and so forth and still putting his foot down with law, we're going to have to do a recorded show for part 2. But, ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a loud round of applause to one of Cincinnati's finest that's carried Cincinnati on his back, Mr. Ken Lawson, former attorney, now turned professor. You can't mention black law and not your face and Leslie Isaiah Gaines' face come to forefront. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, brothers. It's always a pleasure to talk back to hometown. I'm glad to see you doing your thing, man. You know, I know it's a fun show and it's well needed in the area of Cincinnati to keep the strong Black voice going.
Yes, I try and be a little different than what other folks is doing. You know, I give shouts out to all the fellow podcasters and influencers out there in my city. I'm not a hater. I wish these folks would get on the network of sharing and using the algorithm that it's supposed to be used for. But hey, I guess they'll catch on. But it's not about me. It's about you, man. It's about you. I just want to start off like, what made you want to get into law?
Oh man, shit! Ever since I was little, I like arguing, and also
you like arguing,
but I also like, you know, fighting for people. You know, I always was one that didn't like bullies, and I like fighting for people that couldn't fight for themselves, man. So just from a young age, maybe in the 6th or 7th grade, I always knew, you know, that this is what I wanted to do.
Damn.
Yeah.
A lawyer at that age, man. So at that age, bringing to fruition, you went to UC, right?
Yeah, I went to university. Well, I went to undergrad up the road from you, Springfield, Ohio, a place called Wittenberg University. Then I went to University of Cincinnati College of Law.
Okay.
Then when I came out of there, see, back then, man, I came out of law school in 1989. And back then, there wasn't no black lawyer. There was one black lawyer in a large law firm down in the city of Cincinnati. But back then, there was no black lawyers being hired at these big law firms. And so I was the first black lawyer hired at a law firm called Taft, Stennis, and Hollister. And back then, well, they still represent the Cincinnati Bengals. They were representing Pete Rose when he bet on baseball. And so I started out my practice there. And then, you know, I tell my students this all the time, man. You know, Mark Twain said it best. He said the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. You know, and so I went to work at that. I wanted to do criminal defense work from day one, all through law school. But everybody kept saying, look here, man, you ain't going to make no money being no criminal defense lawyer. They go broke. You want to make some money being a lawyer, you got to do corporate law. And so my thought was back then, Grizz, to be straight up with you, man, is if I can make a lot of money, then I'll be happy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, well, shit, I don't want to do corporate law, but, you know, if I can make six figures or whatever doing it, then, you know. And so I did it for like 4 years, and I couldn't take it no more, man. That's what I was saying about that old Mark Twain saying, you know, at that point, man, you know, if you would have came up to me and said, look here, Ken, man, you're on the cover of Cincinnati magazine for becoming a future leader, and, you know, 30 leaders under 30 years old.
Right.
Back then, Reverend Freddie Pfeiffer was on the same magazine with me. 30 future leaders in Cincinnati under 30. And so if you would have seen me back then working at that law firm, man, you would have said, look here, Ken, man, you got it made. You got a beautiful house. You're on the cover of magazines. You're done working at this big firm.
And, what was it, the more? What was the more?
I got everything I thought was going to make me happy.
What made you not happy at working at corporate? The way you was treated, or just seeing the bullshit?
It ain't what I wanted to do.
It just wasn't what you wanted to do.
It's just like what you're doing now, right?
Right.
You know, now, you know, if you made a ton of money, I mean, can you imagine if somebody said, look here, man, I'm going to pay you a ton of money to do podcasts. And your thought would be, you know what, I love this so much, I would almost do it for free.
I'm doing it for free right now.
Right, right. So what I'm saying is because you love doing it.
Right.
I didn't love doing corporate law. I love doing criminal law. You got what I'm saying? And so I do believe, man, that so that's when I met Gaines. That's the reason why I'm telling you this story. Because Les Gaines had become a judge, and I didn't know him. And I saw him at the courthouse one day, and I said, "Look here, man." I said, "You know, I'm about to leave this big law firm." You know, and he said, "Brother, I'm about to become." He said, I remember exactly. He said, "They're gonna make me a judge, man." And I said, well, what you doing with your little law firm up there on Red and Road? See, because you probably remember this. He had an office up on Red and Road called. It was a renovated house.
Yes.
But he had a big sign that said the Gaines building on it, right? So but it wasn't nothing but a little 2-story house. It wasn't no building, you know what I mean?
I think it was next to the apartment buildings.
Yeah. So he said, but no, he said, man, he said, I got 2 or 3 cases left up there, man. He's like, I'm just going to shut it down. I said, well, shoot, why don't you let me take over? You know what I mean? And so we hooked up, and he was like, yeah. And so he became a judge, and I left that law firm, man. That's when I started doing criminal defense work. And like I told you, just like you doing, you know, I wasn't making no money at first, right? But I loved what I was doing, right? I was in the moment. I couldn't wait. Just like you can't wait to get to the studio, you know what I mean? I couldn't wait to get to work, man. When I was working that job at that corporate law firm, I hated when Mondays came.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, right, I thank God it's Friday, you know, I'd be so happy. When I started doing criminal defense work, man, the weekends were too long because the courthouse wasn't open on the weekends. I'm like, I can't wait till a Monday, you know what I mean?
Right.
To go down and pick a fight with somebody. So, yeah, that's how that started, man. I was in that building for like a year, and then I had a murder case that was on court TV.
Is that the one that catapulted you? Is that when everybody got to know the name Ken Lawson? Did this particular court case you about to tell us about?
No, I was doing, here's what I did, man. I couldn't afford no advertising, right? So I took cases that were like high profile and people didn't have no money, right? And so, people, so instead of being represented by the public defender, I took a couple of those cases. But, when you take those cases, man, you got to win. You don't want to be on the news losing all the time. Ain't nobody going to come see you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, man, like, I can't go down there messing with him. He got that guy convicted of life sentence for a DUI. And so, so when I was taking these cases, so I took one that was on Court TV, and then maybe there's you probably remember this, there was a guy who was an all-state running back for which high school was that?
Was it Cape?
No, I represented Snow's brother up in Miami. Remember Miami? You don't remember that Miami University case where they got charged with putting KKK signs?
Yeah.
That was Nate Snow and Carlos's brother.
Okay.
That was years later. Western Hills High School. This guy's name was Larry Bondon.
Okay.
He was an all-state running back. He had a scholarship to University of Michigan State, and he and his friends robbed a spaghetti factory, and it was all on the news. And then he got out on bond. So he got out on bond after So it's all on the news. He robs a spaghetti factory. You know what I mean? So that was probably one of my first high-profile cases too. So then he out on bond, and I get a call from the police like maybe 3 weeks later after he out on bond. They're like, "We arrested your client again." And I'm thinking, well, it's probably for another robbery. And I'm thinking it's a robbery that happened, maybe a year ago. So, they're catching up with this guy, you know what I mean? Like, they arrested him for one robbery, and so now they putting all these unsolved robberies are coming together, and they're like, "Yeah, you did one before." They're like, "No, this didn't happen. This happened last night, Attorney Lawson. He robbed. He was allegedly robbed another store, and so I had to do that case, right? So then he confessed, and I got the confession thrown out of court, and so that was all over the news. And so anyway, long story short, man, eventually I moved downtown, and then that's when Dion Sanders was playing for the Cincinnati Reds. I ended up representing Dion, and then winning that case. But a lot of my cases, man, and most people know this, and I tell my law students here, they ask me about, what's your favorite case? One of mine was Crystal White. I did that case pro bono, and Crystal was a young lady who got charged. She was a teenager, and she and her friends went joyriding in her aunt's car, and she crossed a double yellow line on the highway and killed this pregnant white lady named Miss Daly. And so Joe Dieters charged her with killing the lady and the unborn fetus, right? Which was illegal for him to do. Anyway, that's a long story, man. But a lot of people don't remember that case, man. We got death threats. But it was a racist case because at the same time, there had been a white boy from Roger Bacon who was a juvenile. And he was speeding in his car, and he killed his passenger. And so they let him stay in juvenile court. They took Crystal as 16 years old and bound her over as an adult, charged her with a crime that back then, Grizz, an unborn but viable fetus was not vehicular homicide, right? You couldn't charge for that. The Supreme Court that happened before where, a lady was pregnant and her baby got killed in a vehicular car accident. And in 1970, the Supreme Court of Ohio said, look, you can't charge a viable fetus is not a person. And so you can't charge that as a homicide. Joe Dieters knew that, man. He charged her anyway.
He hates your name, don't he? He got
no,
you.
Actually, I don't know if he hates my name or not, but he had some respect for it because he knew that I wasn't going back down from him. You know what I mean?
It's crazy how he's still running shit here, man. It's crazy to me how he's still running shit here. I mean, they whole little ain't too much change since you've been gone. you know, they might have toned it down here and there. It's not in the news as much as anything, but man, it's still.
I don't see nobody fighting.
There is nobody fighting. I said the one.
Yeah.
I want the one thing. What's his name? That might have did what you do in that lane to a certain extent, but not to the fullest extent of what you do, is Clyde Bennett. You know, when your name was always synonymous with if you were in trouble, call Ken Lawson. And I got a Ken Lawson story. Let me tell you my Ken Lawson story one time, right? So we in Evanston, and my brother and me, and you know, we doing what we doing. You know how it went back then, right? So they bust in to my grandmother's house. She didn't own the house. We stayed on the bottom floor of the Canards. They owned it. Long story short, they got my brother hemmed up. They got me hemmed up. And some shit went down. My mama coming through the door, right? I'll never forget this. She come through the door, and my brother trying to tell her some shit, and she did one of them Bruce Lee kicks to the throat, like, bow, right to his throat, right? And went straight to the phone, went to her mama, and then went straight to the phone and called you on the phone. And I don't know what you said, but she said he wants to speak to the commanding officer in charge here. And brother, when I tell you, whatever you said to them people, man, they got that shit up out, and they got up out that mug with the quickness. I said, I kept trying, my mother wasn't trying to talk to me. See, I don't know what he said, but it worked, and y'all needed, and that was history. I was blown away right then, like, oh yeah, this nigga the truth. I don't even know what the fuck he said, but they up out of there. But your name is synonymous with that, and representing folks who don't have money in high profile cases.
But there's a difference between, you know, doing straight up criminal defense work, and then a lot of the stuff that I did too wasn't just straight criminal defense work, like what, you know, what Clyde does, but it was also fighting racism.
Right.
And so that's when they come after you. See, they don't mind me getting off, you know, brothers killing brothers. They don't mind me coming down there winning jury trial after jury trial, you know what I mean, when it's us on us. When I started coming after they racist ass, just like that Crystal White case, right?
Right.
And so, you know, and I let them have it, man. I'm like, look, y'all gonna keep this little white boy from Roger Bacon over in juvenile court, but y'all gonna bind this sister over and treat her like she's some type of criminal. You know what I mean? Right. And so that you had those two pieces of justice, right? One for them and one for us. And that used to make me more angry than anything else. And so when it came to getting in the police's face and suing them for racial profiling and doing all that other stuff, man, that's when, like they don't have, in other words, that's the reason why other lawyers are still down there allowed to practice. And they was like, you know what, even though you became addicted to drugs, and other lawyers have been addicted to drugs and still been able to practice.
Well, because it was you.
And disbar you. See, I wasn't disbarred for being a drug addict. I was disbarred for being Ken Lawson.
Right, exactly.
And you know, so anyway, man, like I said, but you know, a lot of times, as you know in your life, man, what the enemy, you know, this talks about that in the good book, man, what they mean for evil, God make good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, that's one thing to be killing them now, is they can't understand how in the hell is this guy the only tenured law professor in the United States that's been to prison and living in Hawaii. How did he get there?
Right.
Right. And a lot of it had to do with their evilness. You know what I mean? And trying, you know, like. But anyway, man, I know you didn't have me on here for all that stuff.
Hey, man, we're here for you and the talk and explaining, because the stuff is still going on. So don't be quiet. You know what I'm talking, because like you said, right now we don't have nobody down here fighting for us or what we need to happen in our community. We have a couple good people in the court systems and working with the juveniles, you know, good people like the Smiths, Kenyatta and his wife, she's a juvenile court, and you got a couple people in there, but for the majority, man, it's like there's no fight. The one person that was really outspoken Kelly Prather. She's very outspoken, and she was always bringing out the injustices and the wrong that people are doing, and just like you said, the evilness of these people. Then put her in the bind, and then on top of that, with our own people hating on us, it's even more ridiculous. I couldn't understand.
Hey, man, when I be looking at what's going on when I went back and looked at what's going on with Tracy Hunter, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah.
What's going on with some of the council members?
Yes.
And see what's, and this ain't no, people. Look, they've been doing them white folks been playing that game at council and at the county level for years.
Right.
For years, it's a pay to play system, right? And then when black folks get in there and start doing the same thing, now all of a sudden they got to go to prison, you know what I mean, or get off the bench and stuff like that.
Let me ask you. Let me stop you right there. But is it a case of the black folks in council doing too much and not sitting back and watch how the game is being played? I remember having a meeting with Orlando, man, and he had a city council member down. I'm not going to mention the name of, I don't know if he's still in office, but it was a gathering of black men and how we could come together and change stuff and do things. It stopped, but I don't know why it stopped. But in that meeting, the city council dude was telling us basically how the city ran and how things have been in place for years and eventually coming to fruition. Like the city expanding and taking over all these townships and so forth up to date. And you see small things happening as far as the city is going, as far as name brands like Cincinnati Bell changing their name to Alta, whatever it is, to expand. Yeah. Then you have the Bengals expanding their market by now changing it to Paycor. You know, it's a lot of stuff in place, and it looks like the Negroes that get in the office either fall by the wayside and fall in line and be good little yes men and do that, or if they want to be on some rebel stuff, they get a taste of the, like you say, pay to play, and then want to do dumb shit and get out of pocket.
Yeah, like I said, man, because people don't understand, a lot of those council members are just fronts for the people that really run the city behind the scenes. And we saw that with the riots. See, in 2001, when we was raising hell, and see, they try to blame that on me for taking over City Hall right before the riot started, you know what I mean?
Right.
But the point is once and people talk about that all the time, man. I don't give a shit what nobody say. If it wasn't for them brothers and sisters that was burning stuff down and tearing shit up, there would have been no settlement. There would have been no change. Now, you can talk about peaceful protests all you want, but I'm telling you right now, when them white folks, they were scared to come downtown, right? And so that was affecting business. Right. And I'm telling you exactly what happened. So then the businesses started contacting the mayor and everybody else like, hey, y'all got to sit down and fix this shit because we're losing too much money because everybody's scared to come downtown.
Oh, I can't wait to chop this interview up. What you just said, that's going to be my piece, because that right there is the goddamn truth. We get so tired of going down Reading Road and seeing candles and waxes and this, that, and the third of folks. It's just really, really, really sickening how this city is being ran, man. How it's horrible.
Country.
It's horrible. It's horrible. But the people involved, the movers and shakers, everybody wants to be about themselves. I had a guy on here called named by you might know him, Robert Jones. Go by the name of Grandpa. You might know him from back in the day. I had him on here, man, and he got a movie you might want to check out called Grandpa, man, and he fought the death penalty, an old school player. I can't say what he did back in the day, but you get the picture. And like he had Lincoln Ware interviewing, and he was touching subjects that Lincoln wouldn't want to touch, as far as the death penalty, as far as, you know, he believed that if you kill somebody, you need to die too.
Well, but see, you know, again, like here, not only do I teach law, but I run the Hawaii Innocence Project, And the only issue the issue I got with that is, man, there had been actual brothers executed that they found out was innocent later.
Okay.
And so to me, yeah, I mean, you can talk about, and you know, he can talk about an eye for an eye all he wants. That's fine and good. But see, when it's mostly us going to the death penalty chair, see, here's the deal, man. Statistics show this much: that if you kill a white person, the likelihood that you're going to get charged with the death penalty goes up. If you kill a black person,
they don't
more
care.
likely you ain't going to get charged with the death penalty. So when we get back to Black Lives Matter, it talks about, and what everybody's saying is, you know, white lives seem to matter more. And so then when you get individuals on death row that have been executed, where DNA has shown later on, you know what, you fired the wrong person. Right. You know what I mean? Because it's easy for me to get people revved up to say, you know, that black man killed him and he's disgusting. Right? And people want, yeah, let's send him off to die. And that's my only issue with the death penalty, man, is if it's going to be done, then make sure that it's done accurately. And how do you know if it's accurate or not? Right. You know?
I was using that as a comparison as far as what you were saying about the rioting and how it makes a change. I was just thinking about how that might make a change.
Man, I'm telling you, hey, look here. This straight up, man, I don't give a shit what nobody say. You can talk about peaceful protests. You can talk about, man, it was them people tearing that shit up downtown that got everybody's attention. And I'm telling you, you know, even Reverend Lynch will tell you that. Everybody, they'll tell you that, man, because, and here's my point to you, is it wasn't the mayor, it wasn't the council people making these decisions. It was the people at Cincinnati Bell and Procter and Gamble and all those other big corporations downtown getting the mayor on the phone and getting like, y'all gonna get this shit settled, right? They the ones running this stuff, right? And so then what happens is when you get these brothers and sisters coming through there that ain't been schooled, right? And then we don't unite ourselves, they being sent to prison because white folks don't want to see us with no power. Right. And so they take Tracy Hunter off the bench, even though she doing, you know how many black folks, how many juveniles got sent off to prison or bound over to the adult prison when the white judges was in charge of our juvenile system? Wow. Right now, when Tracy get down there and try to take care of business, they can't vote her out, so they take her out. You know, hey, man, but like you said, man, we got to become more schooled in the game.
Yeah, we do, because I'll be real with you. I call myself going to run for mayor, and everybody didn't take it serious. I took it semi-serious, but I took it real serious when I went over there and had to go through the process of what the process wanted to be. I'm like, oh, this is serious game right here, for real. They want to know everything, and then the person that was telling us what we needed to do and so forth in this class and this meeting was like, I could already sense the tension when I asked for the paperwork to be on the ballot and blah, blah, blah. His whole demeanor.
When was this, Chris?
This was not too long ago, from last year before last.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and well, his whole demeanor made me think like, oh, this is a dirty game. This right here is a dirty game, and I would have to be more serious. I had my family behind. My brother was going to be this and blah, blah, blah. And when I said, man, I don't think I'm ready for this.
No,
I don't think I'm ready for this.
And you know what, man? I mean, like you know, going back to when men and you talked about gangs, man. You know, one thing that I always love about him is that we demanded our respect as black men. And I remember going into an old white judge named George Albanese. And you know, you've been down to court, man, so you know how busy them courts are, especially municipal court, right? Right. And so I'm running around in all these different courtrooms, and you see lawyers going in and out the courtroom all the time because we got cases in other rooms and shit like that, right? So he know that. He been on the bench. He be in Albany. So I come in there one day, and I had been on the news for winning a few cases, right? So I come in there one day, man, and I was like 20 minutes late, but I already let them know, man, I'm going to be down in these other judges' courtrooms. And so he knew that shit. There was a courtroom full of black folks. And so he wanted to dress me down on the record about being late and all this other stuff, right? So I said, look here, man. I went to the sidebar. I said, can we go back in your chambers and talk? So we went back into his chambers. I said, I'm going to tell you something, man. You know what? By the time black folks come and hire me, they done been told by the bail bondsman, don't go get you a black lawyer, go get you a Jewish lawyer. Black lawyers don't get no respect in court. By the time somebody come and hire me, right, they've been told by their family and friends the same thing. And so for you to dress me down in court like that in front of a room of black folks, you reinforcing that notion. So I tell you something, man, don't you ever talk to me like I'm some nigga lawyer again. So
Let's give you a round of applause.
He's sitting back behind his desk, and he get mad when I said that. But I told him, I said, don't you ever talk to me like I'm some nigga lawyer again. So he jumped up, right? And he wasn't, but I walked up on his ass like, what the fuck you want to do? You know what I mean? And ever since then, this true story, I'm telling you, man, after that happened, whenever I walked in that man's courtroom, Mr. Lawson, how you doing, Miss Right? And so what I'm saying is this, man, you know, sometimes you got to, you know, at least as far as I was concerned, they're going to respect me. Now, they may not have liked me. They may have hated my guts. I don't give a shit. Right? I can't control but I can control how you gonna treat me.
Right.
Right? And what I allow you to call me.
Right.
And so, man, but I gotta get ready to run for class. I wish I could spend more time with you, man. But I gotta
it is that time. Look. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Ken Lawson. We're gonna come back to this. We're gonna do a re-recorded one so you can hear all the good stuff. Maybe talk an hour and a half or two. You know what I'm talking about? And get more game. But I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. I reached out to you and I appreciate it. So go handle your business and I'll holler at you later. That's what's up. Hey, man, that was dope. That was dope for that 20, because it started a little early, right? So that was dope, man. I knew he had 1,000,001 stories, man.
Right.
And I had 1,000,001 questions, but I knew I had to break it down like, okay, let him get a couple stories off because everybody in the city want to know.
Right.
I wanted people to call in and talk their shit. But it was good. Like I said, when I chop up this video, I'm definitely got two things I'm chopping up, man.
He gave a lot of information.
A lot of.
And it was real.
And it was real because I saw you here and you see educated black folks and why are they tearing up their own? Why?
That ain't our shit.
Why are they tearing up where they live at? Well, the downtown was, some of it. But he made a good point. And you heard that all through the riots with George Floyd. Why are they tearing up their shit?
You did.
That's all you heard. But they tearing up your shit too.
Basically.
And without him, like he said, negotiations and talks wouldn't have happened if it wasn't because of what they needed to do. And
motherfuckers ain't worried about no peaceful protests. Like they say that's just because that's what they're supposed to say. If it's peaceful, they're not gonna pay us no attention.
Right. So that was dope. I was real geeked about that. Let's get Ken Lawson another round.
Yeah, he was amazing. That was good.
He's feeding us. But that's what's up with you. What's up with you? Where's you back in the studio? I got a chance to holler at Ivory for a quick minute. We gonna link up this week and chit chat. She got some stuff going on, man. So if y'all wondering where Ivory is, we missing Ivory too. You know what I'm talking about? So she's got some things she's doing. So hopefully she'll be back when the time is right. So, but anyway, we just gonna carry on with the news you can use. You was talking about some stories. The stories you got,
man. Now one of the biggest things I've been noticing this week was the Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears story. Have you seen that clip?
Yes. And you know what's crazy is Ari Spears was talking he been on VLAD and some other platforms talking his shit. You know what I'm talking about? His shit. And it's awful funny how he's talking his shit and all of a sudden.
Hold on, what shit was he talking?
He talking the Lizzo. Remember he was just talking real shit about Lizzo.
Okay.
You know, I forget what he called her. I don't know what the
Queen
hell
of the Wheels. I seen
some
that.
Some
yeah,
stuff.
It was like something disrespectful. I was like, damn.
Yeah, so he came for her and coming for some other folks too, and they funny how this stuff came out.
Right after.
So what happened though? I get bits and pieces.
Man, I watched it and I'm sorry that I watched it. But then it was
You
like,
seen the skit?
man, what? It's on Instagram. I should have sent it to you.
You should have sent it so you could have played it
send it to you.
on the screen.
This shit
But what
is-
happened?
Okay, so basically it's like I guess they saying it's supposed to be a comedy about being a pedophile, but I didn't find shit about it funny from the beginning to the end because it started off as Tiffany Haddish like dropping her child off with Aries Spears, and he's supposed to be watching the son. Next thing you know, he got a paper cut like a newspaper up to his face or whatever, and he dropping the pages slowly like. Then the last page, he got holes in it where he could see through the paper, but he is looking at this little boy like every move he make. They was making it like sexual. Like if you see it, it's gonna make you sick for real. Like, and I couldn't believe that he even did it as a comedian. Like I don't even see how you could think that's funny. Like, and the way that they played it out, dude, it was like sick. So it's like really, they got this little boy laying on the floor, spreading his legs wide open, and like basically making it look like he twerking on the floor. I mean, it was just kind of crazy for them to say that they don't know why they did it, and they thought that it was funny initially. Like, I don't even see how you could.
That is not.
The shit.
Yeah, I hope he could find it, but that was.
Nah, it's horrible.
That's horrible, man. I don't. See, would that go into that notion of what everyone's saying about being in that industry? And y'all can say conspiracy
Man, weird
theory.
shit.
You can say conspiracy theory, or you making this stuff up and blah, 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 blah. That's what you is, and you, this, that,
Right,
the
so-
third.
Watch TJ while I run to the bank? No problem. I'll be right back. Look, do whatever Uncle Pete asks you to do, okay? Be good. All right, thank you so much. If you need anything, just call me, okay?
A video. I mean, I hear.
You can hear the sound, but you need to see the video.
video.
The visuals make it worse.
Oh, there, he about to pull it up for us
That
now.
shit is crazy.
Hey, man, he played this. I'm going to cut my own video again and see and let these people see how weird this crap is, man.
No, man, these motherfuckers is weird. I mean, and then at the same time, that's how I felt about it when I seen it. I was like, okay, so this is on that weird celebrity stuff they be having them doing, like, to get in Hollywood. Because you could tell that it wasn't current. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's Prince. If you don't know, that's Prince. Prince makes his... Go
He is
over
not
there.
playing.
He's not playing. Yep, we got a guest today. Prince said he wants to be a part of the show. He's always
He said,
at the
"Fuck
door
it."
when I leave. He said, forget it. I'm here today.
He's part of the show today.
All right, close the door. There you go. He's out. Got him. See you, Prince. Prince is gone. This is,
That's funny as hell.
look, he's
He's
mad.
mad as fuck.
Cussing us out. But, yeah, that's kind of weird shit. Hopefully he'll play that so we can see it.
I'm gonna try to send it to you. I'm trying to send it. Hold on.
Yeah,
That shit is just crazy though. But anyway, I don't even know how they was able to even do that. I mean, even if you don't got kids, you got nieces and nephews. So it's like to even let that shit play out the way that it did, it was just kind of disturbing.
right.
Like, and now the kids that was in the videos are
grown.
apparently suing them for that. But Tiffany Haddish had made a comment saying that like she really wish she wouldn't have did it, and she don't know how she thought it was funny at the time, but she really can't talk about it because at this point she's going through like legal trouble, some type of lawsuit where she can't talk about certain things. So I'm like, what about a lawsuit? Your ass. I mean,
Right. They want money. It's too late now. It's out there. So,
I mean, but
you
for
know.
real, it's more so the Aries Spears side of it, for real, because he's the one that was doing the pedophile shit.
Oh, so she had nothing to do with
Like,
none
she
of that. She just dropped the
She
baby
dropped
off.
the kid off. I mean, I couldn't even make it through the whole video. I made it through halfway, and it was just like becoming too much for me because I was just like, okay, I'm waiting for it to get funny right now. Like, when is it gonna get funny? Like,
That's the plot thickens. So
Yeah.
Tiffany wasn't doing no wild stuff with the kids.
no,
She just dropped the kids off,
From what I seen, she dropped her kid off and asked him to babysit the kid.
and then
he started doing all the weird shit. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
That
So
shit is
maybe
crazy.
she might get out of it, and he gonna take a fall. He look bad anyway. That
He
brother
looked
look
horrible
bad.
in the video. Like, I mean, it almost looked real. That's how sick it was. Like, damn.
Yeah, he looked like he's stressing himself out, man, trying to talk bad about people. When you got that type of negativity in you, it shows. you spewing negative and you look negative.
And why you randomly hating on women though? Like women
Because
already.
he probably don't got none. I don't know. Maybe you know you can pay for some. I don't know. I had no idea, but I just know the nigga negative.
He smacked. He Saudi.
He negative. But speaking of entertainment, one of the things I brought up, I went to go see was Honk
for Jesus. Oh my God.
I went to see it.
So seeing that you seen that and you made that freaking post, you made me pay for the freaking Peacock app to see this. I don't even know what that is, Grizz.
You don't know what it is?
I don't even know what that is.
Are you a church person?
I couldn't even. I'm like halfway through that movie. I'm like,
Was you mad because
the pastor seeming kind of gay? I don't know.
Yeah, that was the whole. That wasn't the gay part. Was the one part that they put into it, but the whole movie was a semi-parody of what's going on today and what's been going on,
right?
With, and black preachers, especially for Baptists, whatever the denomination is, they exposed a lot of stuff, and a lot of folks were upset about that movie. It touched their soul. It should have touched your soul to say, I ain't going to that bullshit no more. That's what it should have touched your soul to do, because this first lady crap that they got going on, where's that at in that good book? Ain't no first lady in no good book. Why are you putting these people on a pedestal? Why are you putting this man?
And they human in a motherfucker.
Why you doing that? Why you doing that? And why you gonna get mad when it's brought to your attention? Hey, man.
Because that's what the movie was based off of. Like, them just basically trying to cover up their truths through the whole movie and basically acting like they
actually is.
Like they cookie cutters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it actually is through the whole movie.
I was like, oh my God.
And then when you said the gay part,
I'm like, is he rubbing the nigga face? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude, they
on some slick shit talking
all of that.
Oh, let me help you.
All of that. And it's not to throw stones at folks, but I thought it was for a wake-up call for people. You know, you hear a lot of people not going to, I don't go to any religious. I believe in God, a higher power, which is all good and dandy. And a lot of people are turning away. I'm not saying I'm not judging you. I'm saying a lot of people are turning away from religion.
That's how I feel.
Because of what was just portrayed.
No, for real.
Yeah. And if you were brought up in the church and this is all you know, then to you it probably would feel offensive, and you probably will feel like you are beating up on the pastor or doing whatever. But sometimes it just takes common sense to see things. And I know a lot of people say, well, Grizz, take a lot of common sense stuff in that Bible ain't real, this and that, blah, 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 blah. I get what you're saying. You know, you got to see it for yourself. But this right here was in your face.
That shit was crazy.
It's in your face. It gave you a blueprint of how music, and we talk about entertainment, but how music is so influential in our lives at every aspect. Where you already know. I'm doing this right now, and your internal metrodome is going on.
I don't know who he talking about. He talking about y'all, not me.
I'm just saying, but
nah, he did trigger.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? It's the same metrodome. And if you don't know any music, that's the thing that we keep it beat and blah, 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 blah. There are certain things that
you just got to be careful what you enter into your life.
Exactly.
Into your mind.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just told my son that earlier today, like, the tongue is a powerful weapon. Don't speak negative into your life. I'm like, even if negative things are happening, try not to, because I know it's hard and it takes a lot of work, a lot of time and effort to really figure that out, but you really can't speak negative into your life. Like, he spoke something today, it was so crazy. We went somewhere, he said, man, I hope I don't go in here and just see somebody I don't like, because, man, I don't want to have to blah, blah, blah. Swear to God, he go into the place, he come out, he said, Mom, why I speak into existence? I was like, because you weren't supposed to be speaking it.
Right.
Like, why would you... That's negative thinking. I always call him a pessimist anyway, and I told him he needs to quit thinking negative. But you really need to watch what you're listening to, watch what you're watching, unless you got your mind trained to understand that entertainment is entertainment. I understand that fact. Like, right. I don't listen to music and it take over my soul, but a lot of people do.
And don't even realize that it has.
Yeah.
Don't even realize that it has. And it's methodically done. You know, when people talk about energy,
It's a trick.
that is for real.
Basically,
certain
it's like programming.
tones, certain sounds trigger certain things in people, just like certain colors trigger certain things in people.
It does.
This is
I
proven facts.
Man,
Proven facts. Ain't nothing that we talking not factual. So I can see a lot of people getting messed up and upset, but that's like what you said. Their minds ain't been trained. Their minds have been conditioned. You know what I'm saying? They ain't done any self-training on themselves to
Basically.
be able to separate, to say when you sit back and you watch the Grammys or you watch these award shows and they have all this symbolism in it and
colors
people
and
color
yep.
and people don't people think that you're a conspiracy theorist. You're a cuckoo. No, you nitwit. Do you know what the black and white checkerboard? Do you understand chess?
if you take psychology, they teach
Teach
you that.
And
Man, they
that-
teach you that how, like, say just like certain colors like red and orange
Yes.
and yellow are to trigger hunger. Like color blues, you know, the color blue is supposed to be more so like meaning like you're sad.
Let's
you
give
know
a
what I'm
round of
saying?
applause for taking psychology. That was one of my favorite classes. And
That
they
should be deep.
It deep, and it had a
It'll fuck
different
your
title
mind
for
up.
everything that's going on in this world.
They
Mess
tell you
up.
how even like how stores set their clothes up in
yep.
certain ways so that when you come in, you're going to instantly want to buy or look at certain things. And your mind is programmed to zoom in on those items. That shit is tricky.
Tricky. That Matrix stuff is for real, for real, for real.
It definitely is.
That's what's up. So I checked that out, but
Did y'all see? I sent y'all the video though, cause I want y'all to see that shit. 'Cause that shit was, huh? Hell yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
That shit kind of weird.
Very weird. But what else you got going on? What else is going on?
But then also something else I seen in the news was Jacksonville, Alabama. Did you see that they're going through a water crisis?
Is that Alabama?
Yes. They going through.
What? I've seen bits and pieces of it. Is it
They
like
telling
it's
them
like
to-
Flint?
Yeah, they telling them to take showers with their mouths closed. Like who the fuck?
What?
Like-
That's not funny. My heart goes out to them because I wouldn't ever want to be in that type of
Sorry.
situation. Sorry, but damn.
It's just how they said it. Like, who the fuck says that shit? Like, I'm like, so they really just gonna tell them, okay, it's okay to take a shower, put your skin under it, just close your mouth. Like,
Oh
And
no,
that
we
shit
gotta
look-
move from there.
that shit look
Hey,
horrible.
if you can
bro.
afford to move, get the hell out of wherever that is.
That shit look horrible.
Alabama, she said.
Oh.
It said
No,
Mississippi.
he said Mississippi. My bad.
Mississippi?
Excuse me.
Yeah,
But
Mississippi. You
fuck
need to
that.
get out. You need to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's like the people of Flint need to move. I mean, they still
Like,
dealing with water.
How can you still live in a city that you don't have a water supply? That just don't make sense to me. And I know everybody can't just afford to up and move, but sometimes you got to just take a chance and start fresh, especially
gotta
when your
go.
health is concerned. Like,
You
that
got
shit
now.
is
You
weird.
now you got to get out of Mississippi.
that shit's scary. I'm like,
Yeah,
can
he
you
said the
imagine?
governor says do not drink the water
Yep.
from the pipes. 180,000
Trying
people
to tell y'all.
in the city that's 80% black are getting brown tap water or none at all.
You
due
ain't
to
seen the
chronic
videos?
underfunding. I've never seen. That is crazy. That is
It's
crazy.
actually
That's
scary.
that's scary, and goes back to what ain't nothing changed in this country for us.
For black people.
For black people, ain't
No,
nothing
it
changed.
definitely has.
I mean,
we think it's getting better,
some-
but it still be kind of stuck in the same.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Certain things about it might change to make it seem a little better, but it's the core is still there.
Well, that 80% population need to go on and get the hell out of there. That part of Mississippi, for real. Get the
That's hella
resources.
motherfuckers.
Hey, 180,000. We had to go. My family
That's
had
like
to go.
that's like when Hurricane Katrina happened and everybody
They
had
had
to
to
start
just
moving and
moving over.
relocating. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, we're going to send our prayers out to those folks, those
Yeah.
black folks, because no matter where
Real.
you
The
are,
struggle is
USA,
real.
the struggle is real.
Damn. That shit just had me fucked up. Like, damn, not two cities though. But then another thing that had me weak Well, this actually had me weak. I ain't mean to say it like that. That didn't have me weak, but this actually had me weak. Did you see the fact that T.I.'s son got arrested like last week when his mugshot popped up?
Yeah, it's awful strange. I guess because is he a minor?
Man, dude,
Because they
is.
That's why they can't tell you why
he was arrested. But see,
up.
the thing about it is, T.I. went live and was talking about it, but he himself didn't even say anything like this is the specific reason why my son got arrested. But what he did say was just basically like he flat out said my son gonna go to jail. He said prison. Actually, he didn't even say jail.
Well, you can surmise exactly what was going on. The boy probably had some heat in the car. Because that's when a couple videos when he was getting fly with folks and the one video particular, what you want to do.
For the streets.
Yeah, what you want to do and go to the car and get the bag. So he even said that on there that he had them things on him. So, and I ain't mad. He did. But I don't know what the legal law is for a person to have a gun with all these kids and young folks shooting up folks.
But apparently he doing more than like having guns. I just seen one of his new videos. Big Stupid just shot one of his videos. You know Big Stupid from the city? From here? The videographer.
That's a real name?
Yeah, Big Stupid from Cincinnati. Oh my God!
Okay.
The lackeys.
I didn't know it was a person's name. I seen the video with the tapes and
that's
his name.
Stupid. That's his nickname.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I thought that was the name of the company.
Stupid videos.
Stupid
films.
Okay, I get it now.
But Big Stupid is from Cincinnati, so shout out to him because he's been working with T.I.'s family for a while now. I want to say for like the last few years, but he just shot King's new video, which he debuted yesterday on his Facebook. So, I mean, he done got in trouble and then he put out a video. And so I'm watching the video. I'm like, oh, yeah. Because basically from what T.I. said to seeing the video, Lil King think he a little thug. T.I. was like, no matter how many whoopings he done got, they basically done took everything from him, done whooped him before. He like, dude basically is like a lost soul and ain't nothing he could do about it. He like, after so long, it's only so many whoopings and shit left. He like, dude is basically headed to prison. So he basically saying the son is just on some ghetto shit.
Right.
I was like, damn. So it just lets you know.
I want to talk to Big Stupid.
I want
to Big Stupid.
Stupid to come on.
Big Stupid. We need you on the show, man.
Stupid
and we don't want you to be on no bullshit either.
That's my nigga.
I'm talking about if I ask you, you got to answer. Don't be talking about you plead the fifth. Don't be looking the other way.
Shit.
Don't be looking down. I want to hear all that, man. Big Stupid, if you get this, you need to holler at me at GRIZZBIZMY2SENSE-Ep113. Hook up with Tyanne so she can make that happen.
Period, Stupid.
Is he down there? Is he working?
Yeah, that's my nigga.
He moved down there?
He went first. It was funny because about like 8 months ago, he had called me randomly, and I'm like, because I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, because I don't know if you remember my friend Los G that had passed away. But that's how I met Stupid. So we always be in the studio with Big Dan and shit. So, and Stupid shot like most of the guys in the city's videos. So he moved to Cali first, and he was fucking with he been going back and forth with T.I. for a few years, like working for them, doing work for them. But then he went to Cali and he was working with Soulja Boy. So then he called me, he was like, man, it was funny. He was like, Soulja Boy seen your name, because, my Facebook, Tyanne Soulja Girl. So he was like, he seen your shit. He wanted to meet you. Like, he tried to call me at like 3 a.m. I'm like, what the fuck? When I woke up the next day, I'm like, why the fuck he calling me at 3 a.m? He ain't never did that. But that's why he had tried to call me, because he was with Soulja Boy, and Soulja Boy wanted to talk to me. Man, they was literally like they working. That's all I want to say. Niggas is working.
He's working. Look at him around.
He went from Cali to Atlanta.
Big Stupid.
Yes.
Can we get a
shout
round
out to
Big Stupid?
Yep.
I guess we're not gonna get a round of applause.
I'll give him a round of applause.
I don't know what the delay was. He probably was smoking something or eating something. I know it smelled good out there.
And they're chiefing.
Yeah, but definitely want to get him on the show.
I'm gonna get him on here.
Because you hear a lot of people move to Atlanta, and if they're not in the entertainment business, then they working and doing their 9-to-5 thing and doing what they're doing. But when you go down to Atlanta to do the music thing or the entertainment thing, it behooves me because you might get some work You might get some rec in. You might make some money.
Man.
But I don't think anybody that moves down there that's not from there is going to blow up before somebody down there, and it's already 1,000,001 rappers and anything you can think of. It's the new mecca for black entertainment.
Facts. Because Miss Meek moved down there, and she just did, I want to say, I don't know if she's been down there a year or it's probably almost like 2 years. She just did a huge show down there. She from Cincinnati female artist. You don't know Miss Meek?
I heard her name before. I think she was on Uptown before. Yeah.
She was
on Uptown. So I remember what you're talking about.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, they getting in work and getting in wreck, but to catapult to that stardom, I don't think going down to Atlanta is going to do that. I think it's going to get your name out there and help you do what you do and make you some networking,
connections,
and connecting and networking and so forth. And I guess it's a matter of what you do, but I have yet to see anyone from Cincinnati go down to Atlanta and become a megastar.
I can get that.
You know?
But I'm not going to say that, y'all. So that was coming from Grizz. That ain't come from Tyanne Capri.
It came from Grizz. I don't give a damn shit. Name somebody that moved to Atlanta that's been blown up and superstar.
Fuck that. They a star in my eyes. I don't give a fuck what
right.
They doing more than what they was doing in Cincinnati. They
let's give them a round of applause for doing that.
You're a star in my eyes,
networking. Like I said, networking and doing what you're doing. But if you're going down there on the notion that I'm going to be the next Lil Baby or Lil Durk or he ain't even from there, but whoever from down there, then you in for a rude awakening. Get your grind on, get your hustle on.
But a lot of them, even if they're not like in the main spotlight themselves, where you would think, well, I guess you would say like they blew up like that, but a lot of them are writing for mainstream artists too.
I mean, yeah, accolades and getting that
they
work
getting
in.
Producer credits.
Producer and working. So that might be your ticket. That might be, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the fame ain't what you wanted. Maybe you get down there and you getting your...
Because sometimes being a producer and everything, you make more money being in the background than you do being the actual star. I learned that from doing TV. Like, you make more money half the time being a producer and a director than you do actually being the actress or the host or whatever. So behind the scenes is a good position to be in too, people.
Yeah, I'm not taking nothing from nobody. I'm just saying.
Grizz a hater.
Girl, bye. I'm not no hater. I'm just saying. Reality check. Reality will make you think something else, because that's what you hear people say when they go down there. I can't make it here. I'm going to go make it in Atlanta. Atlanta going to make it. And I always ask everybody, what is your definition of making it? Mm-hmm. Maybe making it is what you just said, going down here getting writer and producer credits. Mm-hmm. Maybe making
sometimes, your whole focus could be to be the actual artist, but then, you might kind of get put in your place like, okay, you better at writing. You know what I'm saying? For other people, life has a way of turning.
Yeah, so we're going to give a shout out to all the people down in Atlanta doing their thing.
Yep.
Give me a round of applause for that, sir.
For who?
The people that moved from Cincinnati down to Atlanta, they're doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, he still ain't gave us no round of applause. I'm telling you, that guy's feeding his face.
Now that doggy is on his ass. Prince.
Oh, yeah.
Prince ain't playing today.
He delayed like a mug. He delayed like a mug today, buddy. I'm trying to tell you.
Hey. It's something, Prince on my ass. He like, nah, I want to be in there with her.
Right.
Like, I told y'all, doggies and babies love me.
Hey, have you ever heard of 600 Breezy?
Nope. My kids have.
The kids have, right.
Pretty much.
It's a whole bunch of new names. I was just thinking about that because I seen the story about his girl committed suicide, and he put on Twitter the notes that she left to him or wrote to him, and it was...
Damn.
It gave a little insight of a person going through whatever they're going through, and you can't get a person out of their funk. There's something that they got. Depression. They got to do that. Depression is a serious thing, man. A serious thing. When you read that note, you're like, well, damn. They talk about going to this bridge and having a good time, and why can't you focus on that? And you can't ask people that because depression affects everybody different and is very serious. I know when I get depressed, I always seem to think like this. Can't nobody make me happy but me.
Period. And that's
Period.
the truth, though.
I don't care if it's my wife. I don't care if it's my kids. I don't care if it's other family members. They might aid in your happiness, but it's up to you inside to say, hey, let me pull my bootstraps up and get up out this funk. Because everyday life, everyday situation affects us all. I don't give a damn how much money you have. I don't give a damn what your struggle is, what this person's struggle is, because the bottom line, some type of way or another, we are all struggling. Mentally, physically, emotionally, somewhere, because we're not perfect. So
you can see that from how everybody just basically snapping recently. It's like, I've been telling my friends, it seems like since the pandemic, it's like people showing their true colors. It's like really coming out. I don't know if people was at home having mental breakdowns because they had to stay in the house. Or
that probably had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, like that changed everybody. So some people for the better, some people for the worse.
Right. I just
that's
thought
something
I'd bring
nobody
that up
in
'cause that
life,
was
nobody in
serious.
history's ever experienced. So sometimes that's kind of hard to come back from.
It is very serious. What else was I talking about? Oh, the murder dude. The little murder. Did you hear him going off on Plies? Plies said that he it was happening a couple weeks ago. Plies said that he finally got to turn on P Valley.
Right.
And you know how Plies be talking. That nigga stupid as hell.
He
wrecked for real.
Yeah.
He started laughing. He's like, oh, what? It was 300 pounds of pressure on Little Murder. Well, I was weak. Plies was stupid as hell. He said, I was traumatized. Nigga, you wasn't the only one traumatized. So Little Murder J. Alphonse had an interview with, I be wondering it must be people that they know to get these interviews from, because it wasn't mainstream, but it was another outlet. And he was saying that, what did he say? He was he said, well, how come he knew all the names of the characters and that he must be homophobic or he must feel like, man, no, nigga, it ain't, nigga, that is traumatizing. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Ain't nobody gonna turn on the TV in a normal state of mind and see this 6'7" nigga with your little ass and these beards and y'all, man, get the hell out of here.
You talking about Uncle Clifford?
Uncle Clifford. Hey, man. That's traumatizing. I don't give a damn what y'all say.
Yet.
That's traumatizing. Like, oh, man, I got to get the hell up out of here. Man,
this nigga overheating. He need to
Y'all know Grizz on his bullshit.
Hey, man, there is some, man, boy, I'm trying to tell you. And then another one that I know he ain't going to mess with me, because I did a video, pause, he didn't mess with me, pause. I know dude is not going to interview with me because Luke James from The Chi. Yeah. That first scene that he did in the season 2 or season 3 or whatever it was with that first trans woman, whatever the correct term is. Boy, they were sloppy kissing like, oh God, that is so nasty. But they kept they kept his storyline the same. And he has another one in this season here, and no, I'm cool on the vapes. And they kept with the storyline of him falling in love with as tranny.
Tranny.
Is tranny a bad word?
Transvestite. I don't know shit.
Can you say tranny?
No, you can say trans. That's what they say.
Trans.
Please help me with
Girl
this.
Up,
shit. I don't know either. Shit.
Trans. Girl Up Express.
He is stupid, man. Somebody come get Grizz from me.
Okay. But the crazy part is, right, even though he acting and doing whatever, it's all good. I still watch The Chi because they ain't went that far with
No,
that
The Chi
crap.
is the shit.
Chi is the shit. But what I really dig about Luke James is the nigga can sing.
Yes.
He got an album. He need to come out with another album. Man, I got that thing in rotation. That
He
boy
a bad
cold. He a
motherfucker.
bad boy.
He is.
He a bad performer.
Yes.
And I'm trying to reach out to him, man. I'm trying to tell you, we don't got to talk about you lick lipping.
Lick locking.
Yeah, we ain't got to talk about all that, man. We don't want to talk about
What the fuck is wrong with it?
we can talk about the music. Matter of fact, I want to talk to you about you lip locking with another nigga.
He definitely gonna bring it up.
I'm definitely
He's
gonna
definitely
bring.
gonna
I'm
bring-
definitely
he
gonna bring
lying.
it up. I'm lying.
The lies.
I'm like,
He's
I'm
definitely
like-
gonna bring that shit up. Now, was it like?
Now I ain't gonna ask what it like. I'm like, you liked that shit, did you? Tell the truth. Tell the truth, nigga. You liked that shit. But anyway,
Nigga, was you acting or was you for real?
he was for real.
That's
But
what Grizz.
That's what it do. But again, we had a quick show. It went rather
It
fast.
went by fast.
It did go by fast. We couldn't get enough of talking to Mr. Lawson, and we definitely gonna revisit that. So we did have that. That's a good thing.
We're gonna try to get some more heavy hitters in.
And
here.
more heavy hitters. We're gonna do a part 2 with him. But next week we got Damon George from the Cool Kids, the final piece of the puzzle the Cool Kids be in. Let's give a round of applause for the Cool Kids.
I love the Cool Kids.
The Cool Kids is Cool Kids. Can we
my boys.
get it? Because they doing their thing, man. Positive Brothers, like I said. Kenyatta, Mike Drop, Guy, and Damon, and Tyron. They are all positive forces in the city. Something so everybody can gravitate to them.
For real. And they've been doing it for years too. So they really deserve their flowers while they're here.
Right. I want to thank everybody that's been tuning in after the show, during the show, after the show, when repost and share. The numbers is doing good. I guarantee you. Oh, can we do our sponsors? We forgot about our sponsors. They're gonna be mad like Grizz.
Just 2 weeks in a row.
2
niggas.
weeks. Last week we forgot. I ain't forget today, y'all. Dank Nation. That is something new that we got going
What's up?
on.
It's Rollo Coleon, a.k.a. The Bag Man, at 3020 Coleraine Avenue off the Hopper exit, man. Yeah, black on and strong, just like where I got this shirt from. Yeah, hard to knock, man. Check out that hot-ass gear. Check out that altitude. My man been in business for 22 years, man. Yeah, black on and strong. Check us out, man. Bag Man, yeah. Hard to knock, yeah. It's going down, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up? It's Rollo Coleon, a.k.a. The Bag Man, at 3020 Coleraine Avenue off the Hopper exit, man. Yeah, black on and strong, just like where I got this shirt from. Yeah, hard to knock.
Shout out to Rollo.
Rollo, Bagman. Shout out
That's
to
me.
Corey with Hard to Knock Shop. Like you said, 22 years of doing this. He's got, if you want any Pumas, that's the place to go. He got every color, everything you can think of.
And hard to knock.
Hard to knock. Yes, sir. And don't forget your bags. And if you're going to get bags, please step the game up and put the right materials in the bag. Don't be over here half-stepping with a pretty bag and then your product is crappy.
He said, don't put no rig in there.
Yeah, man. She said it. I wasn't going to say it. Your mid, your mild, your rig, man, cut the crap, man.
Please help me with this schmuck.
Quit doing people like that.
Could you please help me with this?
I mean, you can get custom. You can get custom bags.
schmuck.
I might get a custom bag.
please
Matter of
help me?
He
fact,
said, shut the fuck up, basically.
I'm not paying him no attention. I'm not paying him no attention. Let's pull up
Sponsor.
Jarman Home Solutions. Everybody check out Jarman Home Solutions for all your electrician needs. They do electric car outlets. I think Tesla has the market on that.
Tesla certified.
Certified. So he does all of that, and you can reach him at Jarman Home Solutions LLC.com. Check them out. And also want to give out, like I said, Dank Nation. Now, Dank Nation, you can go to danknation.co and grab all the Dank Nation gear you can possibly get. Now, last week I showed you a strand of what's going on, and that's all I'm going to tell you. In 2024, it's supposed to be on the ballot this year, but, Ohio is slow-mo, so we're going to get it right. So it's going to be on the ballot 2024. They had to rewrite and do some things. So in the meantime, in between time, we perfecting everything. So you want to be a part of this. I'm telling you, we're going to take over the whole state. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to be the premium brand for everyone to come to get whatever they need.
A dispensary?
Yes, whatever they need.
Say that.
No, we won't talk about to get verification. I'm talking about, but in those lines of things. But in the meantime, go to the danknation.co and grab you some dankware, Dank Nation. With that being hot gear. With that being said, we're gonna get on up out of here, and appreciate everybody. And like we say every Wednesday, don't be stuck on stupid and relaxed on dumb. We out of here.
See y'all next week.
Fast shows.
Let's go!
The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen, and